share, subscribe. It is the mind of Mr. Nagazilla. 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 Old dude is now live. Like, share, subscribe. It is the mind of Mr. Nagazilla. 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 Old dude is now live. Like, share, subscribe. It is the mind of Mr. Nagazilla. 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 Old dude is now live. Like, share, subscribe. It is the mind of Mr. Nagazilla. 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 Old dude is now live. Like, share, subscribe. It is the mind of Mr. Nagazilla. 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 A liar and a thief. You look me in the eye, like truth is just a game. You take what you can hold, then hide behind the name. You borrow my trust, then spend it like cash. Shake my hand with a smile, the other hand in the stash. You know what you do, you know what it means. A clean little lie with dirty little schemes. Yeah, you wear it so right, like it never cuts deep. But the promise got weight, and you reap what you keep. You want the easy win, unbothered by the sin. When did this begin? Crooked grin. You want the hidden score, what for? Every lie you tell me more. Blood on the floor. A liar is a thief. A thief is a liar. Same breath, same need, same hands, same desire. You take what you want, then you call it love. Liar and a thief. A liar and a thief. You sell me a story, then change the price. Turn my yes to a maybe, turn my warm to ice. You smile for the room, then break what you need. A willing heart to fool is a pocket to bleed. You don't just bend rules, you make them bend till trust is a door. You know how to trend, yeah, you wear it so right, like it never cuts deep. But the promise got weight, and you reap what you keep. You want the easy win, unbothered by the sin. When did this begin? Crooked grin. You want the hidden score, what for? Every lie you tell me more. Blood on the floor. A liar is a thief. A thief is a liar. Same breath, same need, same hands, same desire. You take what you want, then you call it love. Liar and a thief. and a thief. One lie opens the gate, one theft takes the rest. You trade my faith away for a cheap little chest. But I see through the glass, I see through the shade. What you built in the dark can be unmade. A liar is a thief, a thief is a liar. Same breath, same need, same hands, same desire. You take what you want, then you call it love. Liar and a thief, a liar and a thief. Yeah, yeah.
Biz a whiz a no chain, 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 biz a whiz a no chain.
You look easy when it's smooth, when the room says yes to you, when the road stays wide and clear, when the praise is all you hear. But I know what made you bend, not the calm, but who you in. When the wind came through the door, when you had to be something more. Show me where you stand, when the ground won't hold your hand. Show me what you keep, when the night runs deep. What truly defines you is where you are, when trouble hits hard, when trouble hits hard. What truly defines you is where you are, when facts get twisted and you still play your part. Not the smile on a perfect day, not the easy road you take. It's the choice when sparks fly hard, it's the line you guard, when the room gets loud and mean, when the crowd won't play you clean. Do you fold or hold your ground? Do you stay or drift around? Show me where you stand, when the ground won't hold your hand. Show me what you keep, when the night runs deep. What truly defines you is where you are, when trouble hits hard, when trouble hits hard. What truly defines you is where you are, when facts get twisted and you still play your part. So let it shake, let it test your name, let the hard days burn if they wake your flame. No easy crown, no borrowed light, just a steady heart in the hardest fight. The real test of you is how you hold up when things go sideways, when things go sideways. The real test of you is how you hold up when facts start clogging up and you still keep your place. The real test of you is how you hold up. The real test of you is how you hold up. Yeah. Feeling fabulous, bare feet on the grass. Copper on my shoulders, let the good hour pass. I take it slow, let the day unwind. Checking the vision, keeping my mind aligned. Hold it up, let me see it clear. Turn it back, I got the right one near. Checking the vision, hit the rewind, hit the rewind, hit the rewind. I'm that kind. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I am that guy. I'm feeling factish, picture perfect middle light. Yeah, cold drink sweating on a paper plate. Laugh in the backyard, I'm never running late. I know that glow when it lands on me. Every little second feels like luxury. Hold it up, let me see it clear. Turn it back, I got the right one there. Checking the vision, hit the rewind, hit the rewind, hit the rewind. Checking the vision, I like what I find. I'm feeling factish, under the sky. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I'm that kind. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I am that guy. I'm feeling factish, picture perfect middle light. Frame blurry, blurry, I don't lose my place. One more look, one more look, one more look, and I'm increasing the pace. Checking the vision, hit the rewind, hit the rewind, hit the rewind. Checking the vision, I like what I find. I'm feeling factish, under the sky. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I'm that kind. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I am that guy. I'm feeling factish, picture perfect middle light. Yeah, feeling fabulous, bare feet on.
What's FAC'n? Huh? Don't fact with me, I don't fact with you. You dig?
If any current research is going on, and if it's conducted in any comparable level of secrecy to the original MK Ultra, it's very deeply secret.
But one thing you said, though, it's going to be hard for Congress to act when they're so dadgum compromised. Let's just be honest.
We hear about MK Ultra all day. Even Dr. Kinzer points out this is just a tiny piece of it.
There have been enormous advances in cyber technology, in artificial intelligence, in neuroscience. Covert agencies may have access now to tools for mind control that Sidney Gottlieb could not even have imagined.
To get somebody to blow up a bus full of children or a building full of innocent civilians, you have to grind it into their minds. You have to wash their brains and tell them there's a higher cause out there. It's religious, ethnic, racial, whatever. And for that higher cause, you can disregard all the normal rules of morality.
This is all under one umbrella because it all feeds into one each other, because the whole agenda, the whole goal was to conquer the human mind and the subconscious. Because if you can do that, you can basically control and rule the world and manipulate whatever scenarios you want.
One of the most famous testing sites was the Allen Memorial Institute, or the Ravenscrag, at McGill University in Montreal. These top-secret experiments and procedures were led by Sidney Gottlieb, the United States spy master and mad chemist who financed and developed, quote, techniques that would crush the human psyche to the point that it would admit anything.
Correspondence between West and Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, the architect of MKUltra. He announced that he had learned how to replace true memories with false memories in people without their knowledge. In other words, he clarified, it has been found to be feasible to take the memory of a definite event in the life of an individual and through hypnotic suggestion bring about the subsequent conscious recall to the effect that this event never actually took place, but that a different fictional event actually did occur. If West's report was accurate, this was not the failure agency officials described in 1977, quite the opposite. It was, in fact, the central ambition of the MKUltra operation, the means of gaining the ability to seize the control of a person's perceptions, memories, and ultimately their behavior.
The goal of Project Bluebird was to train subjects through hypnosis and behavior modification so that it would be impossible for enemies of the United States to extract vital information. The goal of Project Artichoke was to examine if a human is capable of attempting an assassination without hesitation. Methods used include hypnosis, forced substance addiction, and forced substance withdrawal. MKUltra, the final evolution of its 1940s predecessors, employed a variety of techniques to influence the minds and brains of its subject.
I recently have a client who, at the age of 14, was recruited in the Long Beach area, and she was being taken to a Navy base, and she can describe the path, describe everything very intrinsically. And talks about how they were putting her in CT scan machines, hooking her head up to wires, having her just think about processes, and they were capturing all this data. Next thing you know, she was being put on military craft and taking to overseas in the Middle East. And at a very young age, she was made into an assassin.
I was in D.C. about 6 years ago, former top Navy SEALs and Delta Force. Some of these guys are famous, and they said, I was talking about this. They go, listen, a couple of years ago, we were on a mission for months guarding this base in Africa, a U.S. base, where they had all these gifted children with all of this stuff. It was all classified, but it was all sorts of magnetic waves. They were implanting them with stuff. They were saying, yeah, that they had seen that. And so that's how widespread all of this is. And what you pioneered, what they admit now is, it's the chips and now the liquid chips and the nanotech. It's not just they're hitting them with waves. They have been filled with this. And they had a Donald Pleasanton was in a BBC show in the 60s.
We call these things surgical transmitters. One was fitted inside you when you went into the Charing Cross Hospital 3 years ago. Appendix, wasn't it? Transmitter?
They were even talking about it then, putting these chips in people and then magnetically controlling them. So they were just throwing it in our face. The globalists are collapsing world.
Shut your ass up. Be quiet, sir. Oh, hell. My Dami is begging motherfuckers. Could you please turn your air conditioning up to 78, please? Prepping you motherfuckers for total control. Go back to John Brown shit. Oh, damn. You know what? I want to look into what's up, American Business. I ain't doing shit. Browsing. What was that young fella name in Mississippi? Damn. I was just on that shit. I hope everybody's day was good. Nolan Xavier Wells.
Every day, your data is being tracked, collected, and sold, often without you even realizing it.
I told you I was coming back. I'm never gone for too long.
It really help us to the merch. Don't be afraid. Become members today because that's with Super Chat and Cash. Hype the video. That's another way for you guys to help us out as well when it comes to algorithm. We have a lot of things to talk about, especially when we head over to sports. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Breaking news, man. I can't believe it. Portugal. Oh man, I got something.
Just right now in your retirement game, you lose.
Watch basketball all the way to the 90th minute and everything, but but watching Portugal, you know, they just go easy here. I know it.
But if you're able to beat, you gotta love him. When you need him, this is when you. goes ups and downs, it's going to gain dividends and
When
be
you
reinvested.
niggas, you
This
tired
we're
of
going
this
to see a
shit.
generation
You
of
ain't
kids
talking. What the fuck?
who are not poor. But here's the thing: if the kids who
and once they turn, they
Jason Schreier covers the gaming.
Concentrate on Xbox. So, you know.
Next year is going to be the same thing. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on the right hand side. He was dating somebody. He was planning on getting married. But he ended up went on live today and announced that he has broken up with his fiancee.
Is here at the Lake Mar.
And Hakeem and Jordan later, they end up finding out that his body was pretty much recovered later. And I think it was washed up at shore and is devastated, and they want answers because they're trying to say what happened to their son. Here is the clip on that one.
Now midday starts with breaking news.
Breaking news, a body has been found on Horn Island near where missing 18-year-old Nolan Wells went missing. Search crews like this one you see here in the air have been searching for him for more than 40 hours now. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Brandy McGill. Will Polston has been on the scene at a command post in Jackson County all morning as they search, and he now joins us live. Good morning to you, Will.
Hey, good morning, Brandy. We got word here just at about 8:45 that there was a body found on Horn Island, and the officials are now working on bringing that back. Now, as of right now, we do not have an identity of the body that was found, but I can confirm that Nolan Wells' family is here at the Lake Mars boat launch. Now, they've asked us not to show the camera in that direction right now of the family grieving. There is quite a bit of family and friends here from Nolan's family. But like I said, we do not have identity as of right now. Sheriff Ledbetter did confirm that a park ranger ended up finding the body that was found. And a coroner was here earlier and has left. They left right at about 10 o'clock, just after 10 a.m., waiting on getting official confirmation on the identity, cause of death, and everything else in between. Of course, as we find out more information, we're going to be updating you site at WLOX. As of right now, a really somber scene as the family all gathered around, hugging and trying to enjoy each other's company during a somber time. Still waiting to find out the official identification on them.
There you have it, folks.
Hey, what's up with John Candy acting like we stupid? You telling us the family is somber, but we haven't got an identification of the body. What kind of shit is that?
This video was 2 hours before they retrieved the body.
Correct.
So as I'm looking at the photo, I know that he was gonna die. That he was not gonna be here today.
Hey, you can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that.
Bro. This is just allegedly, but I'm just saying. Whenever there's one black guy with a bunch of white people, he end up missing or he end up unaliving.
A lot of people say a lot of people are assuming it might be an intoxication, like they probably were drinking and then he probably just fell overboard.
And you telling me his homeboys didn't coach him and try to save him?
Now when someone drowning, remember the 18-year-old, they probably panicked and left.
No. If we go out together, Ron, we all die.
Not if he's drowning. What the fuck you talking about? You's the type of nigga that just let somebody drown or whatever. You ain't gonna go after your partner. You ain't gonna try to help him or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here, man. You sound like a bitch ass.
Together.
Then you probably out of everybody in that group, you probably had like one close friend that probably would try to do his best part. If we were gonna cooperate with authorities, the other two are gonna be like, I don't know what happened.
So out of all these people, it's the one black guy that drowned in the water. Now, if you would have gave me 2 drownings, then I would have said, okay, it was an accident. But out of all these people, just one black guy? No, just tell me if I'm losing it or I'm smoking crack.
As a parent, Hakeem, if you're going out to somewhere, he's 18 now. I need to know where you at. I need to know who you be with. I need you to send me text messages. I need you to call me when you're there. I need you to call me when the fireworks happening. I need to call you when you coming back. And like I said, we don't like I said.
No, you talk to that boy and make sure he don't put himself in that kind of situation, nigga.
In this picture, I don't know when that picture was taken. I don't know if it was taken during that weekend. As a family, I want to know who he was with at that time, and I want to know if they're going out, who he's going out with, or if I need to come with you, or I need to send somebody to come with you and everything. Because, like I said, we don't know necessarily. So we don't know the whole story. But if that's the case, Hakeem, that he was hanging out with some white boys out there, drinking, drunk, all that, having fun and everything. Okay, he fell out the.
Niggas weird. Talking about if he was, nigga, what?
Water and everything. You go up for the board, you pick it up, and panic and everything. I know. There might be some panic and everything. You jump in the water and try to get him, especially somebody drunk, and it has to be somebody on that boat who was not drinking to jump in the water as well. If that's the case. If that's the case.
Hakeem must be right.
We don't. Like I said, if that's the story Hakeem is saying, we talked about it before. We covered the story 2 years ago. Hakeem, I've got the name. We covered the story something like this like 2 years ago. And when it comes to situations like this, you can hang out with white people like that. Hey, you already know the situation and everything. But like I said, we don't know the story, and I'm with the parents. I want to know who he was with. And if he was white friends, what was y'all that not helping this young man?
Yeah, basically. Somebody, and look.
You want to say who the picture he was with? I'm gonna show you guys the picture again. He's with a group of guys.
Yeah, and
listen.
That's all you need to know. Those are people.
Listen.
I want the audience to see it. Go ahead, Hakeem.
Look at the picture.
Okay, those are people he was with. 3 guys.
I knew he wasn't gonna make it. I knew he wasn't gonna make it.
You can't say that. You can't say that. It'd be a group of black people together and someone still end up missing.
No. Listen. Somebody end up going to jail or beat up. When you go out with a group of black guys, people don't die.
Remember when the girl went to Cancun? Remember when the girl went to Cancun and never came?
Okay,
that was a group.
That was an isolated incident.
That wasn't her friend.
That was a friend. And mind you, she didn't die right away. They didn't just leave her. They still was there. We actually got it in. But this is one of the cases that we've been watching. We've been doing this for 8 years. We have a number of cases where there's a group of white people and there's one particular black person and he ends up unalive. And nobody ends up unalive but the one black person. So
oh no.
I'm just saying the math is not math.
So like the scary movie, that was always one
black
guy in the movie.
Yep.
But I'm definitely about to move to the next. Yes, I am.
Okay, so everything on Facebook is not always true, but I'm starting to believe that this little comment right here is, so, the 3 boys that went on the water with poor little Nolan, turns out the comment states that one of their mommies is a chancery judge. Oh, ain't that freaking lovely? What? So you mean to tell me that you might be protecting your poor little innocent baby? Boy, howdy, let me tell you. I hope if your son done something to that little boy, I hope he gets every bit of what is coming to him. And that is respectfully as I can get it.
Okay, let's get straight to the point. Let's
talk about this sad story coming out of Ocean Springs, Mississippi about Nolan Wells, who was 18 years old. Now, Nolan Wells come from a two-parent home. This picture right here, you can see his father to the left, and that is his mother to the right. Nolan Wells graduated from Ocean Springs High School in class of 2025. Now, he recently, after graduation, Nolan was a football player at Ocean Springs, but he also went on to go play college football at Southwest Community College in Summit, Mississippi. He was actually scheduled to move back into his campus with his best friend that he went to school with from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. I want to say today, July the 5th, Monday, they were scheduled to move back in. Now, if you've been following this story, you know that Nolan Wells went to go take a ride for the 4th of July out on an island called Horn Island, probably about 8 to 10 miles or whatever, off the coast of Mississippi from Ocean Springs. Now, this right here is the island right here. You can see it right here. Now, this is the group of friends, along with some others that's not pictured, but this is the boat that he was on with these group of friends. And I can just tell you right now that it's a lot of people feel some kind of way. As you can see in the beginning of the video, that lady kind of hinting at, hey, somebody might be working with somebody. Now, we don't know what's true and what's not, but there's a lot of info coming out, and we're going to talk about it all. Now, for Nolan, he just wanted to live it up. Before he go back to school, he wanted to go hang out with his friends out there on the island, catch a boat ride on the water, just having some fun. 18 years old, just doing what kids do. But unfortunately, a parent sometimes go through something that no parent really want to go through, and that is your kid leaving the house with their friends or whomever, and they're not returning back home safe. And Nolan's mom actually experienced it. His father experienced it. The mom went to Facebook and posted this on the 4th of July, later that evening. Said, update, please be on the lookout for Nolan. Last seen was west tip north side of Horn Island around 3 p.m. July the 4th, wearing blue shorts and sunglasses. It's unclear if he made it back on land. Please message me if you have seen him or have information about his whereabouts at or after 4 p.m. So basically, Nolan friends made it back, but Nolan did not come back home.
So today's the day. I've got my RTA mock system and Coyote appliances, and they did tell me it was only going to take a few minutes. I gotta say, they were right.
Breaking news, a body has been found on Horn Island near where missing 18-year-old Nolan Wells went missing. Search crews like this one you see here in the air have been searching for him for more than 4 years now. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Brandy McGill. Will Polston has been on the scene at a command post in Jackson County all morning as they search, and he now joins us live. Good morning to you, Will.
Hey, good morning, Brandy. We got word here just about 8:45 that there was a body found on Horn Island, and the officials are now working on bringing that back. Now, as of right now, we do not have an identity of the body that was found, but I can confirm that Nolan Wells' family is here at the Lake Mars boat launch. Now, they've asked us not to show the camera in that direction right now of the family grieving. There is quite a bit of family and friends here from Nolan's family, but like I said, we do not have identity as of right now. Sheriff Ledbetter did confirm that a park ranger ended up finding the body that was found, and the coroner was here earlier and has since left. They left right at about 10 o'clock, just after 10 a.m., waiting on getting official confirmation on the identity, cause of death, and everything else in between. Of course, as we find
I better look and make sure that boy got his organs.
out more information, we're going to be updating you on our website at WLOX.com. But as of right now, a really somber scene as the family all gathered around, hugging and trying to enjoy each other's company during a somber time. Again, still waiting to find out the official identification of the body found, though. Reporting live in Jackson County, Will Polston, WLOX News Now.
Unfortunately, Nolan Wells did not make it home. The way he left, he did not return the same. Now, according to the news report WLOX, a body was found at Horn Island, and as we all know by now, that body was confirmed to be 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Now, on July the 4th, His mom was on Facebook searching for her son, asking for information, waiting for his safe return home. Only for 2 days later, July the 6th, around about 8:30, 8:45 a.m. in the morning, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office down there on the Gulf of Mississippi, Ocean Springs, all down there, reported that they found the body, and the family had to confirm that it was Nolan. Nolan's mother, his grandfather, had made a post confirming it as well, but the mother had also made a post wanting to thank everybody, the friends in the family, community, and United Cajun Navy, the local law enforcement, and everyone involved for all the love, support, resources over the last few days. His father, our family, friends, and I are absolutely devastated. My heart broken for my sweet son, who was always willing to cheer and uplift others. Nolan was a special soul. God took his time creating our son. I ask that you please give me and my family time to grieve. And what can you say? Condolences to the family, and prayers to them during this difficult time. Like I say, Nolan was loved. He came from a 2-parent home, had his mother and his father right there by his side, and just a day of just going out to have fun with his friends, led to this tragedy hitting his family. Now, this is Nolan right here with his friends on the boat. Allegedly, I think this is them heading to Horn Island. Now, there's a lot of stuff coming out, and I said we was going to talk about it, so let's get into it. Now, allegedly, there was a confrontation. Not sure exactly if Nolan Wells was involved in that confrontation, but there are some people on the internet that is saying that the group that he was with had a confrontation within the group. And now, as you can see right here in this picture, I'm going to play a video, but this is a still shot from the confrontation that someone filmed, and you can actually hear someone get into it. And they're trying to say allegedly it was the group that Nolan was with, and this is Nolan right here. Now, shout out to Anna C. Moore for the video. We're going to play this video. You got to listen real close. You're going to hear individuals having a confrontation, arguing in the background during this time. So if you listen closely to the video, you can hear some individuals arguing in the background, and they pretty upset. And that's what people are saying, that that group is the group that Nolan Wells was with. Now, if this turned out to be true, some facts, that the group he was with was having a confrontation, and maybe he was involved, who knows, then that's going to raise some eyebrows about him coming up missing and his friends going back and Nolan not coming back with them. Now, there's also some comments from the internet, or people trying to confirming that it was an argument with his group. This person said right here that one of the passengers on their boat is pretty certain that Nolan was a part of the group that was almost fighting around 5 p.m. So some people got 4 or 5 all different times. Then you also have someone else that's saying they were fighting amongst themselves. So they are confirming that the group that Nolan Wells was with was confrontation amongst their group. And somebody else said that 3 people on my boat saw it, and they all.
I'm gonna leave a link to this video in the description if anybody wanted.
I'll say yes, it was amongst themselves. So the group that Nolan was with allegedly had a big confrontation out there where they either got to fighting or almost fighting. But still, for them to have a heated argument, then he come up missing and everybody else go back home, there's some questions that need answers. Now, there's someone who also said that they were anchored there too in their boat, and they left very quickly after a fight around 4-ish. So you got a little different times, but you have a lot of people, witnesses out there that are confirming.
Good question.
That'll get down definitely the group that Nolan was with. Now, Nolan cousin, I don't know the relation, but clearly family's going to be upset. Especially with all the different stories that's coming out about who did it, who done it, and what happened, and all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody got a phone in
So
their
she said this. Y'all know this is some BS. An arrest needs to be made soon. My little cousin didn't deserve that. Nolan was in college playing football, hoped to be in the NFL, and a family who loves him dearly. I love you, cousin. She's upset. Now, she got in the comment section. Now, she wanted the guys that he was with to be arrested because, people saying, we got an Oreo cookie situation here. And people are saying that the people that Nolan was with may have done something to Nolan. Who knows? Now, there's a lot of people that is talking about this story, breaking down, giving insights. But one thing about it is, you guys just go ahead and just be cut and dry. Don't put no salt on it. Just say what you want to feel. Shout out to this lady, Jessica Stewart. I feel like she gave the best breakdown of this whole thing with Nolan Wells being out there 4th of July at Horn Island with his friends.
One situation, this little boy that got lost out at Horn Island yesterday, because I just hate to see muckers making videos about somebody else's trauma just to get a damn dollar. But I'm just going to go ahead and take it too far, because that's where you always find the truth. I think that every phone of every fucking kid that was around him yesterday needs their phone taken and confiscated by a government department, okay? Not their parents. Number 2, I want to know who the parents of these kids are. Are any of them lawyers? Just asking for a friend. Do any of them work for DMR? Do any of them work for City of Ocean Springs, Education Department, City Department, any kind of government-y positions on the children? Moving on. Obviously, who the fuck leaves their friend on a damn island? Some lady on the internet just said, the last time that he was seen, the friend said, "Hey, Nolan, get on the boat." Okay, and then what? What did Nolan say? What? No, I'm trying to get Katie's number. No, I left my koozie over here at this other boat. Hold on, let me go tell my homeboy over here we're leaving. What happened after that? So they told him to get on the boat. What did he say when they told him? I think Katie's irrelevant. I don't think she has a leg in this race. I don't know none of these folks. But I just think poor little Katie really ain't got nothing to do with it, unless they didn't want to see that cute little boy out there with that little girl. And there's some weird shit going on in the deep south of Mississippi. Anyway, moving on. I just don't understand it, because a little boy Nolan does not seem like the kind of person that would have said, "No, I'm good. I'll just find a ride from an island with a stranger." The boy was in sports. He cared about his grades. He cared about his well-being. He always showed up to school on time and was an outstanding citizen. To be honest with you, I don't get that kind of energy that he was like, "Nah, I ain't get on the boat. I ain't done yet." I'm not getting that energy. And again, I don't know this person, but I got some wild friends myself, okay? I almost had to drag my little friend Christy up out the damn hard rock pool last weekend because she wasn't ready to go. But guess what? We came together. It's time to go. You're leaving with me. Not everybody's like that, and that's fine. That's fine. But, the math ain't mathin'. And I think that the most important characters in the whole fucking plot are too quiet. I haven't even looked up the people involved. I'm just following posts that are being made in comments. But, man, this is the most Murdoch story out of Mississippi I've ever heard.
This whole situation is sad. You have a mother and father who was waiting for their son to come back home on the 4th of July, and their son never returned home safely back to them. You can only imagine what they're going through. He left with friends that I'm sure maybe the mother and father trusted that, hey, he's just going out with his friends. They're going out on an island, to have fun. They're riding a boat. Just stuff that you just doing as a kid, just having some fun. But I'll tell you one thing. This is going to have a lot of people upset. A lot of people feel some type of way about Nolan being out there with those friends. According to a lot of reports, the friends actually brought Nolan's cell phone back to his mother, allegedly. Well, if that's the case, everybody's wondering, if you can bring his phone back, then where was Nolan? Like Jessica said in her video. What did Nolan say? Somebody asked Nolan to get back on the boat, and what he said, he don't want to get back on. Somebody knows something. Even if it's not foul play, somebody knows something. There's a bunch of people. If y'all look at some of these videos, it were boats on both sides of the island. So this clearly is a hangout spot that everybody goes to and hang out. So there's a lot of people out there. So how is it that Nolan was the only one that's left out there, not for one day, but for 2 days before he was discovered? And if the friends, nothing was involved, why when you take the phone back to the mother, just say something to the mother like, hey, Nolan is out there. We couldn't find him or something. Now you have a mother who is grieving, a father who is grieving, a family who is grieving, and you have an 18-year-old kid whose life's come to a tragic end over what? how it happened. Y'all get in the comments what y'all think about this whole story. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share my video. I'm Greta Mac. Holla.
Link to that video in the description. Boy, that's crazy. Boy.
Never do these 3 things after a car accident if you want to potentially receive any money at all. Number 1, never sue the person who...
Breaking news, a body has been found on Horn Island.
Was FAC'n. Yay the quick.
Island near where missing 18-year-old Nolan Wells went missing. Search crews like this one you see here in the air have been searching for him for more than hours now.
We got word here just at about 8:45 that there was a body found on Horn Island, and that the officials are now working on bringing that back.
A cell phone resting on the deck of a boat miles away from its owner. A teenager left behind on a remote waterlocked barrier island. A group of friends returning to the mainland without the very person they brought with them. Everything about this scene had been arranged. The placement, the angle, the story it was trying to tell. Except one thing didn't add up. By the time investigators finished their first hour on scene, they knew this wasn't what it looked like. And the harder they looked, the more the arrangement started working against the person who built it. This is the story of Nolan Xavier Wells and the narrative of a simple holiday disappearance that was never as convincing as those who left him behind thought. Born in 2008, Nolan Xavier, the kind of kid who instinctively understood the emotional temperature of a room.
And Buddy came to a conclusion awfully quick. The way he talked and shit. The fuck?
Growing up in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, a picturesque coastal town where the humidity hangs heavy and Friday night high school football dictates the social hierarchy. Nolan didn't just participate in his community, he anchored it. By the time he was 18, he stood an imposing 6'1", weighing 180 pounds, possessing the kind of athletic frame built for the gridiron. But physical intimidation was the absolute antithesis of his personality. In a demographic where teenage boys often posture and clash, Nolan was the designated diplomat. His childhood friends, a tight-knit group who had navigated the complex transition from middle school to young adulthood together, universally recognized him as the calming influence. When arguments sparked, Nolan was the one who extinguished them. He possessed a rare, quiet gravity. As one close friend described, he was the kind of person who spark up a whole room without ever raising his voice. He was a role model, deeply respected not just for his athletic prowess, but for his profound sense of empathy. This empathy was a direct reflection of his family environment. His mother, Christine Wansley, and his father, Elmore Wansley, raised a son whose kindness was his defining metric of success. Christine would later articulate the depth of his spirit with a heartbreakingly beautiful sentiment. Nolan was a special soul. God took his time creating our son. That careful creation extended to his work ethic. Nolan was a general business major and a standout wide receiver. He had recently completed his freshman year at Southwest Mississippi Community College, SMCC, in Summit. He was a disciplined athlete, a young man who understood schedules, responsibilities, and the consequences of reckless behavior. He even took formal swimming lessons at the local YMCA, adding a layer of aquatic competency to his physical skill set. For Nolan, the summer of 2020 was a brief, sunlit pause between the grueling demands of college semesters. He was scheduled to return to the SMCC campus on Monday, July 6th, to begin rigorous football practice for his sophomore season. His bags were practically packed. His future was mapped out in yardage, business classes, and the unwavering support of his family, including his deeply protective grandfather, Christopher Wells Sr. Nolan had everything to lose, absolutely no reason to walk away from his life. He was responsible, he was loved, and he was acutely aware of his surroundings, which makes the geographical reality of where he ended up and the people he trusted to get him there the first undeniable fracture in a story that was about to shatter completely. Welcome to Dark Truth Files. We are about to look at one of the most baffling timeline discrepancies in recent history. If you're new here, subscribe and hit that like button and drop a comment letting us know where you're watching from. We read every single one. To understand the sheer impossibility of this case, you have to understand the isolating, unforgiving of Horn Island. Situated roughly 10 miles south of Pascagoula, Mississippi, Horn Island is a pristine, narrow strip of sand in the Gulf of Mexico. It is part of the Gulf Islands National Seashore. There are no bridges, there are no ferries, there are no roads, no convenience stores, and no easy ways out. The island is accessible solely by private watercraft. Once you step off a hull and onto the sand, your entire lifeline to the mainland is tethered to the person holding the keys that brought you. The 4th of July on Horn Island is a notoriously chaotic spectacle. Hundreds of boats anchor off the shore. The water becomes a dense, floating parking lot of pontoon boats, center consoles, and speedboats. The atmosphere is loud, intoxicating, and transient. People drift from boat to boat, walking through the shallow surf, mingling in massive crowds that form and dissolve with the tide. It is a place where it is incredibly easy to lose sight of someone in the throngs of holiday revelers, but it is a place where you absolutely do not leave without doing a head count. The golden rule of barrier island boating is universal. Whoever you bring out, you bring back. Nolan's plan for Saturday, July 4th, 2026 was standard for a coastal teenager. He was going to the island to celebrate the holiday weekend. However, a critical logistical division occurred before they even left the dock. Nolan had a core, lifelong friend group, including his absolute best friend, Javon Williams. But boats have strict capacity limits. The vessel reached its maximum weight, forcing the friend group to split up. Javon and several other childhood friends boarded a different boat. Nolan ended up traveling on a vessel with different acquaintances. This separation is the foundational crack in the timeline. While the exact dynamics of the group on Nolan's boat remain part of an active case, the context of his isolation began the moment that engine turned over. He was physically separated from the lifelong friends who knew his habits, his demeanor, and his exact whereabouts.
This is the fake ad you see everywhere, right? But this is Ebony. You're thinking, aren't they exactly the same? No, because Ebony is the real number game. Gotta try it, huh? Nobody ever believed me, but this really is.
As they cut through the 10 miles of open water of the island, the safety net of lifelong loyalty was cruising parallel to him, but fundamentally disconnected. The boats arrived at the western tip of the north side of Horn Island. The anchors dropped, the teenagers spilled out into the waist-deep water. The holiday commenced. For hours, navigating the crowded shoreline, blending in with the hundreds of other teenagers baking in the brutal Mississippi sun. But as the afternoon wore on, the vast, crowded shoreline began to end. Boats started pulling their anchors to beat the evening tide back to the mainland. The chaotic energy of the daytime party events and the margins for error evaporated. Barrier Island, the difference between a minor miscommunication and a fatal abandonment is measured in minutes. And the minutes were rapidly ticking down toward a departure that defies all logical explanation. By 3:00 p.m. on the afternoon of July 4th, the intense Mississippi heat was at its peak. The crowds on the northwest tip of Horn Island were still thick. a shifting mass of teenagers, loud music, and marine exhaust. This precise hour marks the final, universally confirmed anchor point in the timeline of Nolan Wells' life. Incident Commander Josh Gill and local authorities established a hard fact. At 3 o'clock p.m., Nolan was standing on the north end.
What dude's saying is he had to split up with his buddies and ride on different boats over a weight limit.
He was wearing distinctive blue swim trunks. He had on sunglasses to block the brutal glare off the Gulf, and he was shirtless. He was not alone. Authorities confirmed he was actively engaged in a conversation, hanging out with a young woman. This unidentified girl is the epicenter of the line's collapse. She represents the final known interaction, the last person to look Nolan in the eye, hear his voice, and observe his state of mind. Yet, in the immediate aftermath, her idea of whereabouts of that conversation vanished into the humid air. Simultaneously, the mechanics of a catastrophic failure in human decency were taking place near the water's edge. The group of acquaintances Nolan had traveled with decided it was time to leave. The protocol for departing a barrier island is rigid. You account for every
What's FAC'n, T-Dub?
soul on your manifest. You text for them. You physically locate them. But this group did not wait. The anchor was pulled.
What up,
The
though?
throttle was pushed forward. The boat began its 10-mile journey back to the Mississippi coastline. As they navigated the open water of the Gulf, leaving the island behind them, a physical object remained on their deck, Nolan's cell phone. In 2026, a cell phone is a teenager's central nervous system. It is their wallet, their map, their communication hub, and their lifeline. The idea that an 18-year-old would voluntarily abandon his device on a boat, or that his travel companions would not immediately notice its presence and recognize the glaring absence, the boundaries of belief. They had his sole means of communication. They possessed the very instrument he would need to call for help, to coordinate a ride, or to signal his location. They returned to the mainland dock. They disembarked. And eventually, this device was handed over to Nolan's family. The moment Christine and Elmore Wansley were handed their son's phone, they're attached to it, horrifying reality of the situation crystallized. Nolan was not lost in a crowd. He was not ignoring their calls. He was completely stripped of his ability to communicate, stranded on a desolate strip of sand while the sun began to set on the Gulf of Mexico. The people who brought him out had returned. The device that connected him to the world had returned. But the peacemaker of Ocean Springs was gone, stood by a silence that was about to echo across the entire country. By the evening of July 4th, the panic in the Wansley and Wells households escalated from a quiet dread into a full-scale frantic mobilization. The realization was stranded without a phone on a boat access-only island triggered a massive multi-agency response. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, the Houston County Sheriff's Department descended on the area. The command post was rapidly established at the Lake Mars boat launch. Search and rescue helicopters chopped through the night sky, casting blinding spotlights over the dark waters and the shifting dunes of the Gulf Islands National Seashore. When dawn broke on Sunday, July 5th, the United Cajun Navy, a highly specialized volunteer emergency response organization known for navigating treacherous southern waters, joined the search, deployed fleets of boats, drones, and ATVs to scour every inch of Horn Island's western tip. The topography of the island is deceptive. While it appears flat from a distance, it is heavily textured with dense sea oats, shifting sandbars, and murky, unpredictable tidal currents. While the physical search tore through the physical landscape, Nolan's mother, Christine, took to Facebook to weigh against time. Her desperate pleas flooded local feeds. This is our Nolan Wells, aka No-No, one of the sweetest and kindest souls you could ever meet. He went missing on Horn Island on July 4th. I'm looking for any pics or videos that was taken on the northwest tip of Horn. Please help us find our sunshine. Law enforcement recognized the need to crowdsource intelligence from hundreds of teenagers who had been on the island. They needed visual evidence movements. In an attempt to jog memories, police released a photograph taken on the day of the disappearance. It showed Nolan standing in the shallow water wearing his blue trunks and sunglasses. But the image authorities chose to release glaring, intentional modification. The photograph was heavily cropped. The faces of the white males standing immediately next to Nolan in the original picture had been deliberately cut out by law enforcement. In an era of hyper-vigilant internet culture, releasing a cropped photo of a missing black teenager to obscure the identities of the white acquaintances he was with is the equivalent of dropping a match into a powder keg. The official intent may have been to protect the privacy of uncharged individuals, but the public perception was immediate and explosive. The internet didn't just see a missing persons flyer, they saw a cover-up. They saw a law enforcement agency prioritizing the anonymity of the people who left Nolan behind over the transparency required to find him. Within hours, the cropped photo leaped from local Mississippi Facebook groups to national platforms, mutating the search for a missing college into a viral digital manhunt where everyone was a suspect. And trust in the official narrative completely disintegrated. By Sunday evening, the disappearance of Nolan Wells had transcended regional news and forcefully hijacked the national algorithms. The digital discourse on platforms like X, Facebook, and Instagram wasn't just analyzing the facts, it was actively weaponizing them. The online true crime community, fueled by the terrifying contradiction of the abandoned cell phone and the heavily cropped police photograph, rapidly formed a consensus. This was not a tragic swimming accident. This was something deeply malicious. The racial dynamics of the trip became the inescapable focal point of the viral narrative. High-profile voices, including author Ibram X. Kendi, amplified the intense social media scrutiny. Millions of users pointed to a terrifying, historically rooted pattern. A young black man travels with white acquaintances to a remote location only to vanish, while his companions return home safe and with his belongings. The internet demanded the photo, they demanded the names of the boys on the boat, they demanded the identity of the unidentified young woman Nolan was last seen speaking to. Web sleuths began cross-referencing social media profiles of Ocean Springs teenagers, analyzing background details of July 4th TikToks, and relentlessly harassing anyone suspected of being on that specific boat. The theories grew darker and more complex by the hour. Was there a physical altercation? Was he deliberately lured away by the unknown girl to isolate him from the crowd? Did the group intentionally leave him stranded as a twisted prank that turned fatal? Conversely, the darkest corners of the internet began engaging in grotesque, victim-blaming, faceless accounts argued that an 18-year-old should have been responsible enough to keep track of his own ride, attempting to shift the burden of survival entirely onto Nolan. The noise became deafening. The viral frenzy was actively traumatizing a family that was currently standing at a boat launch, staring out at the Gulf, waiting for a rescue team to bring their son home. The situation deteriorated to the point where Nolan's grandfather, Christopher Wells Sr.
Hey, buddy. This is first law of survivors. Look, I ain't even gonna say it.
A man crushed by the agonizing weight had to log onto Facebook to command the internet to stand down. His
Self-preservation
message was a masterpiece
Dare I say it.
class in restrained fury and profound grief. It's time for answers, but be mindful. They need space and need to grieve. He wrote, addressing the millions of digital detectives tearing his grandson's final hours apart. There has been enough finger pointing. Let law enforcement do their job. He understood what the internet refused to accept. It does not bring people home. Theories do not alter physical reality. And while the digital world was busy ripping the time to shreds, searching for a grand
overnight
conspiracy, the brutal
And aim down after that dark, dark day. Let every stone away.
unrelenting currents of the Gulf of Mexico were quietly
an hour overnight. That ain't gonna die from that. Being stranded on an island overnight. You a healthy teenager. You just skipping breakfast. It ain't like the water from the cover you. You gotta tread it all night.
preparing to deliver the only truth that actually mattered. The agonizing suspension of hope shattered on the morning of Monday, July 6, 2026, at approximately 8:45 a.m. Just teammates at SMCC were preparing for the football practice he was supposed to attend. A U.S. park ranger was patrolling the shoreline. Looking out into the water just offshore on the west end of Horn Island, the ranger spotted something breaking the surface. It was a body. The massive multi-agency rescue operation was immediately halted. The United Cajun Navy officially suspended their active search efforts. The perimeter was secured, and the agonizing process of recovery began. Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter addressed the press shortly after, confirming the devastating reality. The physical description of the recovered remains matched that of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells. The blue swim trunks, the athletic build, the geography of the discovery. It all aligned with the nightmare the family had been living for 48 hours. Jackson County Coroner Bruce Lynn Jr. took custody of the remains, initiating the formal clinical procedures required by law. The body was transported to the Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office. DNA testing was immediately ordered in conjunction with the family to make the official, undeniable identification and to conduct a comprehensive autopsy to determine the precise cause of death. The confirmation sent a shockwave of profound grief through Ocean Springs. Friends gathered at the Lake Mars boat launch, no longer to search, but to mourn the peacemaker who had always kept them grounded. Christine Wansley, forced to endure the unimaginable, released a statement that captured the total devastation of a mother whose bright, compassionate son was taken under circumstances that defy all basic human decency. His father, our family, friends, and I are absolutely devastated. My heart is broken for my sweet son who was always willing to cheer and uplift others. But as the grief settled in, the glaring, unresolved contradictions remained. The official investigation by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department remains highly active. Detectives are still working backward, interviewing individuals who were present on the island, attempting to map the exact trajectory from the 3:00 p.m. conversation with the unknown girl to the moment the boat engine started to the waters off the west end of the island. The timeline is broken. The phone on the boat is a silent witness to a departure that should never have happened. And the question of how a group of people could leave a remote island without the boy they brought with them is no longer just viral speculation. It is the central, haunting focus of a police investigation. Nolan Wells did not deserve to be left behind. And until the full truth of those final hours on Horn Island is officially established, the silence of those who returned without him will continue to speak louder than words ever could. This has been Dark Truth Files. Thank you for watching, and stay vigilant.
Thanks. See you next month. So you can get these delivered.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. Are they coming to this law and crime grid? They buried the truth. Yeah.
On the northwest tip end of Horn Island.
I heard he went to a different island. He swam another boat. I heard a lot of different things, but I don't know which one is true. But I need to know exactly what's the last thing people saw Nolan doing. It's gonna make my job a lot easier. There were some people that thought he might have, wandered off into the middle of the movie. He sent people up there today, and if he was barefoot, there's no way he made it up there. There's cactuses and there's just a lot of thorny brush and whatnot. He would not have comfortably able to make it to the middle of the island. He probably would have turned around and went back to the beach. If you were with the group, that was more. If you were on the island and you were there and saw anything, please don't be afraid to come forward and tell the authorities exactly what you know, no matter what you might think might be some consequences or whatnot. But it's very now in these critical moments.
He was last seen walking toward the water on a holiday weekend, surrounded by friends, surrounded by people, and somehow none of them can tell us exactly what happened next. A young man, an athlete, a son, gone in broad daylight on one of the busiest islands on the Gulf Coast. And the people who were closest to him in those final moments are the ones giving the fewest answers. How does someone vanish in front of nobody sees a thing? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I cover real cases, missing persons, unsolved mysteries, and stories that deserve far more attention than they're getting. If that's your, make sure you're subscribed because we post breakdowns like this all the time. Now, let's talk about what actually happened here, because the more you look into this case, the more you realize there are gaps the public hasn't been getting answers to. It was the 4th of July, day meant for cookouts, fireworks, boats on the water, the kind of day where nothing is supposed to go wrong. Nolan Xavier Wells, a young football player with his entire future ahead of him, traveled out to Horn Island with a group of friends. And here's something important to understand right away. Horn Island is not some hidden, deserted stretch of land. It's a popular barrier island off the Mississippi coast, part of the Gulf Islands National Seashore. On a normal weekend, it sees traffic. On a holiday weekend, like the 4th of July, it's packed. Boats everywhere. People everywhere. Music, coolers, crowds. This was not an isolated place where someone could disappear without witnesses. This was a crowded island filled with potential eyes, and that's where the first major question begins. If this island was so crowded, how is it that nobody has come forward with a clear, complete account of what happened to Nolan? Around noon, he was last seen on the west tip of the northern side of the island. Blue swim trunks, no shirt, sunglasses on. That moment, captured in a photo, is the last confirmed image investigators have of him alive. And after that, everything goes quiet. No confirmed sightings, no verified timeline, no clear explanation of who he was with in those moments after the photo, or how the rest of that day unfolded. And that silence is what has unsettled so many people following this case. Because not long after Nolan failed to return home, his mother, Christine Wansley, began doing what every parent would do. She went public. She told media, pleading with anyone who had been on Horn Island that day to come forward. Photos, videos, anything, even the smallest detail. Then she revealed a detail that instantly shifted how people saw the case. At some point that day, Nolan became separated from his phone. That phone eventually made it back to his family in Mississippi. He did not. Let that sink in for a moment. His phone came home. He didn't. That's not a minor detail. That kind of detail that changes how people look at everything else. Did he leave it behind on purpose? Did someone else bring it back? Was he still with friends when that happened? Or was he already alone? Right now, those answers haven't been made public. Once it became clear Nolan was missing, the Jackson County Sheriff's Department moved quickly. A command post was set up at the Lake Mars boat launch in Ocean Springs. Multiple agencies were called in. This wasn't treated like a routine disappearance. Teams fanned out across Horn Island and the surrounding waters. Boats, rangers, deputies, volunteers. And yet, even with all of that manpower, days into the search, authorities still couldn't confirm the most basic fact of this case, whether Nolan is even still on that island at all. Think about that. A massive search, multiple agencies, and the answer to where he is remains completely unknown. So how does a search this large come up empty? And more importantly, what happened in the hours after that last photo was taken? Because when we start looking at who Nolan was with that day and why investigators publicly asking those same people to come forward, that's when this case starts raising even more questions. And that's exactly where we're going next. When investigators ask the public for help in a missing person case, that's normal. But when they continue asking days later for the same specific group of people to come forward, that mention shifts and has already confirmed they interviewed multiple people who were on Horn Island that day. That includes people who were around Nolan. And yet, even after those interviews, authorities are still publicly urging anyone who's with him, spoke to him, or that 3 p.m. photo to contact them immediately. That wording matters. If everyone who had direct contact with Nolan had already provided a clear, consistent timeline, there wouldn't be a need to keep repeating that request. And that's why so many people following this case have zeroed in on the same uncomfortable question. What happened in that gap of time after the last confirmed sighting? Because right now, that gap is doing all the talking. Officials haven't said anyone is lying. They haven't accused anyone of wrongdoing.
Try Nature Made. Made with quality, made for you every day.
But they also haven't said they have a clear picture of Nolan's final movements. And when the people closest to a missing person are also the ones whose accounts don't fully explain what happened, that silence becomes impossible to ignore. That concern only grew when a public statement came from Casey Vaughn, urging anyone who had been on Horn Island or anywhere near it to come forward. She didn't just ask for witnesses. She didn't just ask for photos or videos. She specifically mentioned the possibility that Nolan may have been given a ride off the island. That single line changed everything. The island isn't connected to the mainland. You don't just walk off it. If Nolan left that island, someone had to take him by boat. And if that happened, it means at least one other person knows exactly where he went next. So where are they? Investigators haven't confirmed whether such a ride happened, but they wouldn't raise that possibility publicly without reason. That tells us this theory didn't come out of thin air. It came from someone said, or something investigators uncovered during interviews. And yet no one has stepped forward publicly to say, I gave Nolan a ride, or I saw him leave the island. Another detail that quietly added to the confusion was the shift in Nolan's physical description. Early reports stated he was wearing black swim trunks. That was later corrected to blue. On the surface, that might sound insignificant. But in an investigation like this, details matter. When descriptions change early on, it usually means investigators are working with accounts, and those accounts don't line up perfectly. Different people remembering the same moment in different ways. Different versions of the same afternoon. That doesn't mean anyone is lying, but it does mean the timeline is fragmented. And fragmentation is dangerous in missing person cases because it creates space where crucial moments can disappear, just like Nolan did. It's also important to understand who Nolan was because this wasn't someone drifting through town unnoticed. He was an Ocean Springs native, a standout football player at Ocean Springs High School, a freshman wide receiver at Southwest Mississippi Community College, a young man with structure, routine, and a future that extended far beyond one holiday weekend. His football program released a statement asking the community to pray for his safe return. Teammates shared his photo. Coaches spoke about his character. This wasn't just a family looking for answers, it was an entire community, which makes the lack of clarity even harder to process. Here's what we know for certain and what we don't. We know Nolan was on Horn Island on July 4th. We know he was last seen around 3 p.m. We know he became separated from his phone. We know the phone made it back to his family. What we don't know is everything else. We don't know who last spoke to him. We don't know whether he entered the water voluntarily or accidentally. We don't know if he stayed on the island or left it. We don't know why no one has publicly filled in the missing pieces. And that's what's made this case explode online. Because this wasn't a disappearance in the dead of night. This wasn't a remote incident. This was daylight, a holiday, a crowded island, a group of were supposed to be watching out for each other. And somewhere between celebration and silence, Nolan Wells vanished. In the next part, we need to talk about the search itself, the scale of it, the agencies involved, and why even a massive coordinated effort has been able to give this family the one thing they need most, answers. Because when you look at how many resources have been poured into this search, the absence of resolution becomes even more disturbing. And that's where this case truly takes on a different weight. The scale of the search itself tells you how seriously authorities are taking this. This isn't a single department walking the beach and hoping for the best. This is a full multi-agency operation that escalated quickly and stayed active. Search crews have spent Horn Island on foot, moving through brush, dunes, and shoreline. Boats have been running patterns around the island, checking the surrounding waters again and again. Air support has scanned from above. Rangers terrain have covered areas most visitors never even reach. Volunteers have joined in, pushing themselves through heat and rough conditions, because one more set of eyes could make the difference. And yet, despite all that, there has been no confirmed sign of Nolan. No clothing recovered. No personal items located. No physical evidence pointing clearly in one direction or another. That absence is what keeps this case from settling into a simple explanation. Because if this were a clear-cut drowning, investigators would usually find something, a current pattern, debris, a witness who saw him struggle, some indication of where and how it happened. If this were a case of someone wandering off and becoming lost on the island, search teams would expect to find tracks, disturbed areas, something showing movement inland. But so far, none of that has been publicly confirmed, which leaves the investigation suspended between possibilities. Authorities have not ruled anything out. Not an accident, not misadventure, not the possibility that Nolan left the island with someone else. And that open-endedness, while necessary during an active investigation, is exactly what has made the public uneasy. Because when every theory remains on the table, people start asking which one fits the silence best. The family, meanwhile, has been living in that silence. While agency search and statements stay carefully worded, Nolan's mother has continued posting, pleading, hoping someone, anyone, will finally say the one thing that connects the dots. Her messages aren't angry. They aren't accusatory. They're desperate. And desperation has a way of cutting through official language. Every day without answers deepens the sense that time is slipping, that memories fade, that the longer people wait to speak, the harder it becomes to piece together the truth of that afternoon. And this is where the emotional weight of the case really lands. Because this isn't just about what happened on Horn Island. It's about the people who were there, celebrating, laughing, moving through the same spaces Nolan moved through, and then going home while he didn't. Someone saw something. Someone heard something. Someone knows more than what's been shared. That doesn't mean there's a villain hiding in the shadows. Sometimes it means people are scared. Sometimes it means they don't realize the importance of what they saw. Sometimes it means they think someone else already woke up. But in cases like silence doesn't stay neutral for long. It turns into suspicion. It turns into online theories. It turns into pressure. And that pressure is already building. People aren't just asking where Nolan is. They're asking why the story stops abruptly at 3 p.m. They're asking why the phone came back without explanation. They're asking why, on an island full of people, the timeline fractures instead of solidifies. They're asking how a young man can vanish in daylight, on a holiday in front of others, and still leave behind nothing solid enough to hold on to. And maybe the most unsettling part of all of this is how familiar it feels.
I want to show you a print-on-demand supplier that's built for apparel-first design.
Because cases just because someone is missing. They shock us because they expose how fragile certainty really is. How quickly a normal day can collapse into questions that never get answered. How being surrounded by people doesn't always being protected. Right now, Nolan Wells exists in that space between known and unknown, between last seen and not found, between hope and fear. The search continues. Tips are still coming in. Investigators are still working angles they haven't spoken about publicly. And it's possible at any moment that one piece of information could change everything. But until that happens, this case remains exactly where it's been since that afternoon on Horn Island, frozen in unanswered questions. And in the next part, we need to talk about why this case unnerved with so many people, why it refuses to fade from attention, and what it says about trust, accountability, and the uncomfortable truth that sometimes the most important answers don't disappear. They're just never spoken out loud. And that's why this case hasn't faded the way so many others do. Because there's something deeply unsettling about a disappearance that happens in plain sight, not in isolation, not in secrecy, but in the middle of celebration. A crowded island, a holiday weekend, music, boats, people everywhere. And yet, when the moment mattered most, clarity vanished right along with Nolan. What keeps people talking isn't just the mystery of where he is. It's the discomfort of realizing how little it can take for someone to disappear, even when they aren't alone. This case forces an uncomfortable. How much do we really notice what's happening around us? Because on that island, people were watching the water, watching fireworks, watching each other laugh. But somewhere in all of that movement, one person slipped out of view, and no one can say exactly how or when or why. And that uncertainty lingers. As days passed, the public reaction shifted. At first, it was shock, then concern, then confusion, and finally frustration. Not aimed at one person, not aimed at one agency, but at the silence itself. At the fact that so many people were present, yet the story still feels incomplete. That's when theories start forming. That's when people begin filling in blanks on their own. Some believe Nolan entered the water and never resurfaced. Others believe he left the island with someone. Some think the truth is simpler than it appears. Others are convinced it's more complicated. And right now, none of those possibilities can be fully confirmed or dismissed. What's important, and this matters, is that speculation fills space when information doesn't. Not because people want drama, but because humans are wired to seek closure, to connect dots, to make sense of loss. And closure is the one thing this case refuses to offer. For the family, that absence is unbearable. Every hour without answers stretches longer than the last. Day forces them to relive that afternoon over and over, wondering what moment mattered most, what detail was missed, what sentence never spoken could have changed everything. For the community, it's a reminder that familiarity equals safety. That knowing someone doesn't mean knowing what happened to them. That being surrounded by others doesn't guarantee protection. And for everyone watching from the outside, it's a warning disguised as a mystery. Because cases like this don't haunt us just because they're unsolved. They haunt us because they show how easily normal life can fracture, how quickly certainty can dissolve, how silence, intentional or not, can become the loudest part of the story. Right now, the investigation remains active. Search efforts continue. Tips are still being reviewed. Authorities are still working angles they haven't spoken about publicly. And it's possible that the truth, whatever it is, hasn't surfaced yet simply because the right person hasn't. Time matters. Memories fade. Details blur. Confidence erodes. And the longer answers stay buried, the harder they are to recover. Not just because, but because someone somewhere knows something that could change everything. A conversation overheard, a moment dismissed, a ride given, a decision made in seconds that echoed far beyond that day. If you were there, if you saw him, if you spoke to him, if you know something, even if it feels small, it matters. Because silence doesn't protect the truth. It delays it. And until that truth comes out, this case will remain exactly where it is now, suspended between hope and heartbreak, between what's known and what's withheld, between a last photo taken in daylight and the darkness that followed. I'll continue following this case closely, and if there's an update, any update, I'll be back to break it down for you. Because stories like this don't end when attention fades. They end when answers finally come to light. Until then, stay aware.
I feel like them last two videos is AI generated reports. But damn. This shit don't add up. I know what it add up to. There's some faulty motherfuckers. Either set that boy up. I think the little broad had something to do with it. Yeah. I got something for that shit. I ain't about to be out here too much longer.
I ain't beefing with the demon, I confront the bitch. There is scar on my soul, yeah, I done it. Devil banging bass drum, working the drum kit. Mama praying in the pew, saying son quit. But I'm stitched from the cloth where you stand on shit. If I did dirt, in my word, got my hands on it. Devil in my ear, selling dreams on a payment plan. Told me I could fly, but he hit the facts quicksand. Whole block worship what they can't own. Flexing face stones, renting fake thrones. I seen killers turn clown when the case closed. Talking about guys playing, they just hate growth. I wouldn't need deep gun tuck, heart froze. Spirit whisper, tell the truth for your soul. So had to kill the lie, living in my own head. For the lie, put a mark on my forehead. The devil is a lie, I don't buy that. He talk big but he high, I don't like that. Put my life on the line for the right facts, rather down the truth than down the rat trap. Devil is a lie, I won't side up. If it ain't real, then the deal getting dry. I still be straight in my eyes, I don't write cap. If my tongue say it, then my backbone back there. I done broke bread with the crooked and the holy. Whistle in the trunk, speaking scripture through the song. Pastor shaking hands, but his eyes looking phony. Devil wet cologne, smell rich, call your homie. Offer me a bag for my silence and my honor, trying to make me lie to my seed. But I'ma tell him about his mama, told him I'm a man. Not a product, not a comma, you can keep the chaos. I ain't chasing your drama, homie took a shortcut, now he short-lived. Told a lie so long that it walked him. Trying to paint his past like a portrait, but the blood on his hands was a forfeit. I see snitch throw dirt on the dead name, crying in front of a headstone bearing his name. Talk loud, but they souls speak a dead slang. Got you like a truth walk, he don't need game. The devil is a lie, I don't buy that. He talk big, but he high, I don't like that. Put my life on the line for the right facts, rather down the truth than down the rat trap. The devil is a lie, I won't side. If it ain't real, then the deal getting dry. Still be straight in my eyes, I don't write cap. If my tongue say it, then my backbone back there. And tell me play along, you can shine more. Kept a little one, the body count crime lord. Say you ain't a whole city, make them one war. Would I rather be small than a big fraud? My little cousin looking up like I'm scripture. What I say turn his choices to a mixture. If I glamorize the page in my stories, he gon' chase bars, never take glory. So I'm talking about the nights I was dead broke, about the cold flows, about the stress smoke, about the friends in the ground who ain't get old, about the weight on my chest when I'm big cold. Truth cutter, but it came with slice through. Fear talk cute, but it bite you. A devil in the deal, read the fine print. I just sound with the light, let my life in. The devil is a lie, I don't buy that. He's so big, but he high, I don't like that. Put my life on the line for the right facts, rather down the truth than down the rat track. The devil is a lie, I won't side up. If it ain't real, then the bill getting dry. Still be straight in my eyes, I don't write cat. If my tongue say it, then my backbone back there. Feeling fabulous, bare feet on the grass. Copper on my shoulders, let the good hour pass. I take it slow, let the day unwind. Checking the vision, keeping my mind aligned. Hold it up, let me see it clear. Turn it back, I got the right one near. Checking the vision, hit the rewind, hit the rewind, hit the rewind. Checking the vision, I like what I find. I'm feeling factish, under the sky. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I'm that kind. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I am that guy. I'm feeling factish, picture perfect middle eye. Yeah, cold drink sweating on a paper plate. Laugh in the backyard, I'm never running late. I know that glow when it lands on me. Every little second feels like luxury. Hold it up, let me see it clear. Turn it back, I got the right one near. Checking the vision, hit the rewind, hit the rewind, hit the rewind. Checking the vision, I like what I find. I'm feeling factish, under the sky. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I'm that kind. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I am that guy. I'm feeling factish, picture perfect middle light. If the frame goes blurry, I don't lose my place. One more look, and I'm increasing the pace. Checking the vision, hit the rewind, hit the rewind, hit the rewind. Checking the vision, I like what I find. I'm feeling factish, under the sky. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I'm that kind. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I am that guy. I'm feeling factish, picture perfect middle light. A liar and a thief. You look me in the eye, like truth is just a game. You take what you can hold, then hide behind the name. You borrow my trust, then spend it like cash. Shake my hand with a smile, the other hand in the stash. You know what you do, you know what it means. A clean little lie with dirty little schemes. Yeah, you wear it so right, like it never cuts deep. But the promise got weight, and you reap what you keep. You want the easy win, unbothered by the sin. When did this begin? Crooked grin. You want the hidden score, what for? Every lie you tell me more. Blood on the floor. A liar is a thief, a thief is a liar. Same breath, same need, same hands, same desire. You take what you want, then you call it love. Liar and a thief, a liar and a thief. You sell me a story, then change the price. Turn my yes to a maybe, turn my warm to ice. You smile for the room, then break what you need. A willing heart to fool is a pocket to bleed. You don't just bend rules, you make them bend till trust is a door. You know how to trend, yeah, you wear it so right, like it never cuts deep. But the promise got weight, and you reap what you keep. You want the easy win, unbothered by the sin. When did this begin? Crooked grin. You want the hidden score, what for? Every lie you tell me more. Blood on the floor. A liar is a thief, a thief is a liar. Same breath, same need, same hands, same desire. You take what you want, then you call it love. One lie opens the gate, one theft takes the rest. You trade my faith away for a cheap little chest. But I see through the glass, I see through the shade. What you built in the dark can be unmade. A liar is a thief, a thief is a liar. Same breath, same deed, same hands, same desire. You take what you want, then you call it love. Liar and a thief, a liar and a thief.
Alright, man, I'm finna get up out of here. Shit. That's about it for me. I do want to run that back one more time. That motherfucker be slapping. I ain't even going front. That motherfucker be slapping, dog.
A liar and a thief. You look me in the eye like truth is just a game. You take what you can hold, then hide behind the name. You borrow my trust, then spend it like cash. Shake my hand with a smile, the other hand in the stash. You know what you do, you know what it means. A clean little lie with dirty little schemes. Yeah, you wear it so right, like it never cuts deep. But the promise got weight, and you reap what you keep. You want the easy win, unbothered by the sin. When did this begin? Crooked grin. You want the hidden score, what for? Every lie you tell me more. Blood on the floor. A liar is a thief, a thief is a liar. Same breath, same deed, same hands, same desire. You take what you want, then you call it love. Liar and a thief, a liar and a thief. You sell me a story, then change the price. Turn my yes to a maybe, turn my warm to ice. You smile for the room, then break what you need. A willing heart to fool is a pocket to bleed. You don't just bend rules, you make them bend till trust is a door. You know how to trend, yeah, you wear it so right, like it never cuts deep. But the promise got weight, and you reap what you keep. You want the easy win, unbothered by the sin. When did this begin? Crooked grin. You want the hidden score, what for? Every lie you tell me more. Blood on the floor. A liar is a thief, a thief is a liar. Same breath, same deed, same hands, same desire. You take what you want, then you call it love. Liar and a thief, a liar and a thief. One lie opens the gate, one theft takes the rest. You trade my faith away for a cheap little chest. But I see through the glass, I see through the shade. What you built in the dark can be unmade. A liar is a thief, a thief is a liar. Same breath, same deed, same hands, same desire. You take what you want, then you call it love. Liar and a thief, a stand up.
All right, to you niggas in the bushes. I'm out of here, man. Back out.